All of the content contained in this webcast is for informational purposes only. The investments and strategies contained in this webcast may not be suitable for you. Please consult your own independent financial advisor before making investment or trading decisions. Welcome back, traders and investors and fans of Warren. We're back with our Market Movers show, and let's start with Lowe's.
Lowe's, Joel, reported here earnings here earlier on this morning. The stock initially popped up to 28 bucks, then pulled back, was trading around 27.32 for quite some time. Now it's getting a lift again, 27.70. But I'm remembering Home Depot's earnings last week. They were way up. Home Depot was way up, and it actually gave it all back intraday. So I don't know if that's going to happen with Lowe's here or not. But sometimes when you see a peer do a move, sometimes that move is again reflected when the next guy's earnings come out. So I would keep that in mind. It wouldn't surprise me if the stock actually ended up going flat, just because that's what Home Depot did the week before. But obviously, it can do anything, and 28 may put a lid on it because that's where it was hitting in the pre-market high.
Okay, yeah, Dennis, I see it did hit that 28. It really didn't blast out of a new area. I'm looking at this 28.46 high, so I think 28 could be some initial resistance, but really that 28.46 is really the main number to look on the upside. Coming back on the downside, Dennis, after hitting that $28 level, we snuck under 27.30 to 27 and a quarter. That coincides pretty nicely with the close, Dennis, at 27.16. So 27.16, good support, the close there, and minor resistance at 28, major resistance at that old high, 28.46.
Metro PCS, symbol PCS, has been on a run. There's been rumors that Sprint, was interested in acquiring this company. And then after hours on Friday, I think it was Faber that broke with the story, basically saying that Sprint was interested, but they walked away from it. It's actually popped up more because that just said to everybody that Sprint actually was almost acquiring this company. So I think it's still a target. PCS appears to still be a target anyways. At least investors are thinking so, because it's trading 12.44 right now after closing at 12.01. So it's still getting a lift. It traded up over $13 there after hours on Friday. So maybe that's a number to keep in mind as well. It was trading and on quite a bit of volume there too, Joel. So what do you think here on this PCS?
Yeah, so you and David Faber working late on Friday, huh?
Well, I was just watching what he was saying, and he was just talking about how Sprint had just apparently walked away. And as soon as Faber broke that story, PCS started taking off, just taking off. It was, it closed at 12.01, and it just started lifting and went all the way to 13 bucks.
Yeah, what's interesting is that high that you had in the after the close at 13.29, Dennis.
Yep.
That coincides with the high when it gapped down back in August, when they obviously delivered some horrendous news to the street. So major resistance going all the way up into that 13.31 area. After that, you have that gap to fill all the way to 16 bucks. So will be some rough sledding if in fact it does get above that area. Coming back on the downside, after hitting 13.30, it traded as low as 12.07. That kind of fits into Friday's range with a 12.01 close. So, we say about these rumors and kind of things, it's hard to play them, but I'd use 12 bucks as support in this, and see what happens again at that 13.31 level, if in fact it can climb back up there.
Disney getting upgrade, a conviction buy upgrade at Goldman Sachs. When Goldman upgrades something, it always has a pretty good impact on the stock. I've got a trading position on in this one, so I will somewhat limit my comments, but I'll just say that 42 has been major resistance, and that may, put a top on it, but above 42, could get interesting.
Oh, the old conviction buy upgrade by Goldman Sachs, huh?
Yep.
41.86.90. We've topped out there several times over the past week or so. That'll be major resistance. Looking at the pre-market activity in Disney, we did pop up there again, 41.87. So, like Dennis says, major resistance in that level. Through there. at some highs that we made in 2011, which is the $44 area. Might take a couple months for it to get there, but let's see if we can get a breakout at 42 downside. I'm sure you'll find support at the close, 41.31, and the low at 41.23.
Rig, which is Transocean, that's been in the news all over the place. Well, it reported earnings here this morning, so there's more news again. Stock is lifting up here pretty good. 52.11 is trading right now after closing at 50.73. So it's actually breaking above this high that we made the other day at 51.78. So if we can actually, open up above that area, maybe that area could lend some support. And it starts to open up here, Joel. This stock has really been having a nice run here over the last couple of months.
Yeah, it's a far cry from those days when they were on CNBC when they were showing live cams of the oil gushing out from the from the leak from BP and Transocean. Certainly have recovered from that. 52.16 is $52 level. Huge. Have not been able to break above that, but we are doing that in the pre-market. I think as long as we hold 52, we're good to go to test some upper boundaries. If in fact it doesn't hold 52, I expect some profit taking here down to Friday's high 51.43. But below that 51.43, Dennis, we go all the way down to the close at 50.73.
Cooper Tire and Rubber Company, which is symbol CTB, reported earnings here this morning as well. It closed at 15.66. There's no trades to report yet, but it's now bid at 16.50, and the best offer is up at 17.78. So it looks like it very well might test this high it made the other day at 16. Well, I guess a couple weeks ago at 16.85. I'm just pointing it out here on the chart. So if it can get above that area, it starts to open up a little bit more here. What do you think technically on CTB, Joel?
Whole host of support here, Dennis, in the 15.38.39 area. Thursdays and Fridays lows. So if in fact it does look for some excellent support. I do see a spotty high at 16.21 that was made 4 days ago. That'll be some minor resistance, but you're right, Dennis. This major resistance, double top 16.81 to 16.85.
Overall here, I'm actually seeing some funny stuff with some imbalances here today. There's some big ones that have just come out, so I'm just going to highlight a couple. Pfizer here with over a 1.2 million share sell imbalance. That's why you're seeing Pfizer weak here in the pre-market. I know we talked about it on the Big Ten show, but when we had that show, the imbalances, they come out at 8:30, so they hadn't come out yet. That's why you're seeing Pfizer weak. So it's actually taking out that 21 support area in the pre-market, trading down at 20.90 right now. So it'll be interesting to see where exactly Pfizer does open, but it looks like it's going to try to take that 21 out there, Joel.
Okay, just recapping the S&Ps, 1355 and a quarter, still holding up as the low. 13, it's currently where we're trading at. Well, if history is any key to what this market's been doing for the last few months, we're going to be testing the low and perhaps slowly grinding higher, perhaps up to test Friday's low. Not really looking for a significant breakdown in this market until we take out the 1350 and a quarter level. So that will be our panic button number on the downside. That's our show for today, folks. We'll be back with you tomorrow.